You don't have to be a serious hiker to enjoy the stunning landscapes surrounding Lucerne. In fact, there are endless trails and walks for all ability levels. So here are our top easy hikes in Lucerne and Central Switzerland, each less than 2 hours long, and of course, complete with jaw-dropping views.
Let's start with some fire, literally. There are 2 ways to reach Mount Pilatus from Lucerne: by riding a bus to Kriens and then a series of gondolas and cable cars, or our favorite way, heading to Alpnachstad by boat or train and then catching the world's steepest cogwheel railway to the summit. Once you reach the top, don't worry, you won't be greeted by fire-breathing dragons, although local legends say that dragons lived on these craggy peaks for hundreds of years, and if you made it up here, they had powers to heal you. Nowadays, you can play with dragons in the interactive Dragon World Museum or walk along the Dragon Path. And if you happen to spy a dragon, we want to hear all about it. But you're up here for the hike we've called the one with dragons. Exit the station, cross the panorama terrace, pass Hotel Pilatus Kulm, and follow signs for the Tomlishorn. The broad, flat gravel path hugs the cliff on your right with sweeping mountain panoramas over the cable railing on your left. The first section is part of the Pilatus Flower Trail, where you might be able to spy various alpine flowers. But our favorite part was passing hidden bunkers and rocky tunnels. Once you hit the stairs, it's about a 10 to 15 minute uphill climb on a rockier trail. Then, you're welcome to the highest point on the Pilatus Ridge, the Tomlishorn viewpoint. You can see for miles in every direction, including Lake Alpnach and a nice glimpse of the Pilatus station. Rest for a little snack at the picnic tables, and don't forget to keep your eyes open for dragons in the sky. Then finish the trail by retracing your steps back to Mount Pilatus. The one with dragons is posted at 3.2 kilometers round trip and takes about 1 hour. If we haven't met, we're Jana and Brett, Aplins in the Alps, and we have clocked hundreds, if not thousands of miles on the trails in Switzerland, and we have lived here since 2023. Our goal is to help you travel or hike Switzerland with confidence. So whether you're looking for the best hikes or easy walks or epic views, we're going to feature them all today in no particular order, so let's keep going.
To reach hike number 2 from Lucerne, take a train toward Engelberg, hop off in Wolfenschiessen, and board a bus to the tiny village of Fell, which your GPS might call Oberreichenbach. There are 2 small cable car stations here. Start by riding up on the Kreuzhütte cable car, but buy a round-trip ticket so you can ride down on the other one later. Once at the top, you're ready to hike the one to an Alpine Lake. Instead of walking straight to the lake, we're following signs for Urnerstaffel. You'll pass by a few farms and an adorable little cafe. Then the trail heads back toward the finger-like rocky peaks. The path curves to the right and you'll see the Urnerstaffel Mountain Hotel. The last time we were here was in autumn, and while we enjoyed our lunch of local juice and meats and cheeses, we watched the sun peer through the mountain peaks. Yep, it was only noon and that was all of the sun they'd see for the day. After refreshments, keep following the trail where you'll wind above Lake Bonalp. We think this is the best spot for selfies. You can see the triangle-shaped lake with a unique teal color surrounded by gray rocks on one side and green hills on the other. The rocky path winds down along the side of the lake. The gravel might be loose and some sections are fairly steep, but it's not too difficult. You'll eventually pass over the man-made dam. This was actually our favorite section because look at this perfect mirror of the water. It was hard to tell if the hotel was right side up or upside down. The trail ends right at the other cable car station where you'll ride back down to Fell. But you might need to pick up the phone in the station to call the cable car first, just like it's 1995 or you're ordering a pizza. The one to an Alpine Lake is posted at 3.2 kilometers and takes about 50 minutes.
Now let's talk about one that we think is great for any kind of traveler. From Lucerne, travel to Witznau by boat or by train and bus. If you happen to have a few minutes to spare before your departure, you can watch the train spin around on the turntable. Otherwise, hop on board Europe's first cogwheel mountain railway to Rigi Kulm. Find a seat on the left side for the best views as the train climbs for 32 minutes up Mount Rigi, also known as the Queen of the Mountains. If you have the energy for a game of I Spy, try to count the 620 mountain peaks and 13 different lakes that you can supposedly see from here. Now you're ready to start the hike we've called the one for everyone. Head to the small chapel near the station and follow trail signs for Rigi Staffel, which should take about 20 minutes on the gentle downhill path with a nearly 360-degree panorama. You'll pass a small mountain restaurant and plenty of benches along the way. Next, you'll reach the Rigi train station. Stay beside the tracks to continue our hike. Notice the building on your left with a giant mural of Schwingen, or Swiss wrestling. And for train enthusiasts, there's also a historic steam engine at this station as well. From here, you can take an optional uphill detour to the Rigi Watchstock, which is our absolute favorite viewpoint from anywhere on Mount Rigi. But for this video, we're going to continue down the easy gravel path to the Kensley viewpoint, through lush green fields and never-ending alpine scenery. When Queen Victoria of England visited here in 1868, she praised the majestic panoramic views, and we think they're pretty incredible too. Finish by walking a few more minutes through the trees to Rigi Kaltbad. At this point, you can ride the cogwheel train back down to Witznau, or ride the cable car down to Wimmis, or soak in the Rigi Kaltbad Spa. The one for everyone is posted at 4 kilometers and takes about 1 hour.
The fun begins before you even reach this next hike. From Lucerne, indulge in a swanky 25-minute catamaran ride, then a swift lift on Switzerland's first hydroelectric powered funicular. Now you're at the luxurious 5-star Bürgenstock resort. Yep, it's pretty fancy with 4 hotels, 10 fine dining restaurants, and the largest spa in Europe, perched on a narrow peninsula in Lake Lucerne. Loads of famous people and movie stars and world leaders frequent this spot. But we're just here for an easy scenic walk we call the one for Wannabe Aristocrats. First, you'll pass by a cute chapel where Audrey Hepburn was married. Then, at the beginning of the trail, you'll see a large sign for the Hammerschwand lift. As you get going, notice that you're walking along an engineering marvel. Miners spent 5 years dangling above Lake Lucerne to blast, drill, and shape this walkway. You'll see rocky cliffs, lush greenery, and sweeping views as you stroll along the gently uphill trail. By the way, you can stay on the gravel path the entire time. The stairs are just a shortcut, but all of the paths will eventually lead you to the lift. And you'll know when you reach the highest elevator in Europe because it soars up the cliff face like a giant toothpick. Buy a ticket, step inside, and skyrocket 152 meters above Lake Lucerne in a glass elevator going at a speed of 3.15 meters per second. When the doors open, you can enjoy more impressive views from this little mountain peak, including a restaurant. And from here, you can ride the elevator back down and retrace your steps to the resort, or there are other trails that wind back to Bürgenstock. The one for Wannabe Aristocrats is posted at 3.3 kilometers round trip and takes about 55 minutes. If you're already packing your hiking boots in your suitcase so you can enjoy these trails on your Swiss vacation, then let us know by hitting the like button. By the way, most of these hikes are outlined in our Lucerne Day Trips guide, complete with details such as how to get to the starting point, which signs to follow, and what to do after you finish the trail.
All right, foodies, this one is for you. From Lucerne, ride the Lucerne-Engelberg Express for 43 minutes to Engelberg. Then ride a gondola to Trübsee, the first stop on the line to Mount Titlis. In our opinion, Trübsee is a must visit. The bright blue lake has enough activities to keep your whole family happy for an entire day. A zip line, a kids playground, rowboats, grill spots, and even more hikes like my favorite walk to the Stoiby waterfall. But this is also where you'll begin the one with cheese and ice cream. From the station, walk downhill along the left side of the lake, winding past most of the spots we just mentioned. When you reach Restaurant Alpstubli, follow the signs for Untertrübsee. The slightly hilly gravel trail goes along the back of the lake with Titlis towering behind you and Trübsee below. The path veers away from the lake at a farmhouse. And aside from the obvious natural beauty, you're heading toward a special experience. This tiny cable car is one of 26 within the region built and utilized by farmers, although they're also open to hikers. It's a really cool way to save your legs from a long, steep descent and a great way to financially support local farmers too. Speaking of farmers, after your descent, exit the station, turn left, and walk just a couple minutes on the road to the Untertrübsee Cheese Dairy. Browse the self-service shop of regional and handmade products. We like to pick out our favorite flavor of ice cream for a deliciously creamy mid-hike snack, and we often buy some cheese and sausage to enjoy later for dinner. Once you've licked the bowl clean, head back to the tiny cable car station and follow signs for Gerschnialp, which has another cheese dairy you could explore. This leisurely 30-minute stroll goes through quintessential Swiss fields, farms, and forest, dropping you off at the Alp funicular station. And during the 4-minute ride down, admire the sprawling village of Engelberg below. The one with cheese and ice cream is posted at 5 kilometers and takes about an hour and 20 minutes.
But what about hikes for kids? Don't worry, we haven't forgotten your tiny travelers. This next hike also starts in Engelberg. Take a short bus ride through the village to the Bruni station. After riding up on a cable car and on a chairlift, you'll reach Bruni, where you can hike the one for kids and families. Lake Hartzley might be teeny tiny, but it sure is captivating. It's completely surrounded by the 220-meter tickle path, a barefoot trail over pebbles, dirt, logs, water, and more. We watched kids from toddlers to teenagers circle the lake, and to my surprise, this was one of my favorite things we did here. Although, I also felt like a kid again on the wooden ball path. Buy a wooden ball and follow the 1-hour trail down to Risti's. Along the way, there are numerous tracks where you can watch your ball glide along wooden slides, float in water, and drop down tubes. Kids find this so much fun, but don't be fooled. Adults, or at least big kids like me, enjoy this adventure too. Once you reach Risti's, the fun doesn't stop. Cruise down the summer toboggan run with awesome mountain views, explore Globey's playground, enjoy a treasure hunt trail, or eat in one of the restaurants. And when your family is all done exploring, ride the cable car back down to Engelberg. The one for kids and families is posted at 2.8 kilometers round trip and takes about 45 minutes.
If you're looking to enjoy panoramic vistas without increasing your daily step count, the Stanzerhorn is a great peak for you. A short train from Lucerne delivers you to Stans, one of our favorite towns in central Switzerland. From here, ride a funicular and then stand on the roof of the world's first double-decker aerial cableway in order to reach the Stanzerhorn, where you can hike the one with Marmots. The wide trail of the Stanzerhorn summit circuit is easily accessible for most travelers. The first third is uphill, the middle third is downhill, and the final third is mostly flat. Start by exiting the station and walking up the hill. The first highlight is the Madness of Marmots. Yep, that's the actual name for a group of these adorable little alpine critters. They've called this place home since 1912, and the spot behind them might just be the best viewpoint on the ridge. Next, keep following the trail uphill to the summit. Along the way are picnic tables and grill spots with complimentary firewood, and you might even spy hang gliders taking off. And on our last visit, a Stanzerhorn ranger told us that you can see more than 600 mountains and 10 lakes from here. From the summit, follow the signs downhill past hundreds of different alpine flowers, more scenic overlooks, and plenty of benches to take a rest. Continue walking until you're back at the Stanzerhorn station and restaurant. But just because you're done walking doesn't mean the views are finished. The viewing platform behind the restaurant offers an incredible look at the snowy peaks in the distance. And the Grand Tour of Switzerland sign on the other side of the restaurant has a great backdrop of Lake Lucerne. And finally, you can dine on classic Swiss dishes prepared with local ingredients in the Central Switzerland's first revolving restaurant. If you're following our Lucerne Day Trips guide, then you already know that the Stanzerhorn pairs perfectly with a visit to the Bergenstock Resort and the hike for Wannabe Aristocrats. The one with Marmots is posted at 1.2 kilometers and takes about 25 minutes. At this point, you're probably wondering, what about the Stoche Ridge hike? Well, we didn't include it on this list because it's not something we would consider to be an easy hike. However, you can find out more about that by watching this video next, or click here to see our playlist about some of our favorite hikes in Switzerland, and we'll see you on the trails in Switzerland.